Emily Carter had spent her entire life believing that her father was a hero. Judge William Carter was one of the most respected judges in the state, firm, fair, and known for delivering justice without bias. The newspapers called him the people's judge. But Emily only knew him as Dad, the man who tucked her in at night, told her to always stand up for the truth, and reminded her that justice is the foundation of a good society. She had never doubted him. Not until the night she uncovered his second. Emily had always been fascinated by law and often attended her father's trials, watching from the back of the courtroom. At just 17, she dreamed of becoming a lawyer, just like the fierce defense attorneys who stood against corruption. One case in particular caught her attention. A single mother, Maria Dawson, was accused of embezzlement. The evidence against her was weak, and Maria insisted she had been framed. The defense attorney fought hard, pointing out inconsistencies, showing proof that someone else had manipulated the numbers. Emily expected her father to dismiss the case. He always said that evidence was everything. But when Judge Carter delivered his verdict, her heart nearly stopped. The court finds the defendant guilty. She is sentenced to 8 years in prison. Gasps filled the room. Maria broke down in tears, pleading with the judge. Her young son, sitting in the audience, sobbed into his grandmother's arms. Emily felt a wave of unease settle in her stomach. This wasn't right. That night, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. She had watched every moment of the trial. The evidence had been in Maria's favor. Why would her father send an innocent woman to prison? Determined to find answers, she crept into his home office. His desk was neat and orderly, legal books lined the walls, and his laptop was locked. But then she spotted a stack of papers, tucked beneath a few case files. She pulled them out and scanned the pages. Her heart dropped. A bank statement. A huge deposit, over $500,000, from an unknown account. A list of cases. Dates, names, and decisions. Emily's hands trembled as she realized what she was looking at. Bribes. Her father had been paid to rule against innocent people. She had always believed him to be a champion of justice. But Judge William Carter was a fraud. The next morning, Emily couldn't look her father in the eye. He noticed. Something wrong, sweetheart? She wanted to scream. To confront him. But how do you tell the man who raised you that you know he's a liar? Instead, she remained quiet, her mind racing. What was she supposed to do? If she exposed him, their entire family would be ruined. He would lose everything: his career, his reputation, his freedom. But if she stayed silent, innocent people would keep suffering. That evening, Emily gathered her courage and stormed into the dining room. Dad, I know. Judge Carter raised an eyebrow. Know what? She threw the papers on the table. That you're taking money to send innocent people to prison. His face remained unreadable. Emily, you don't understand how the world works. No, Dad, she shot back, her voice shaking. I understand perfectly. You're not a judge, you're a criminal. For the first time, his expression faltered. He sighed, running a hand through his graying hair. I've spent my life building this legacy. Sometimes, sacrifices have to be made. Emily stared at him in disbelief. Sacrifices? Like Maria Dawson? Like her son, who has to grow up without a mother? His silence was all the confirmation she needed. Emily knew what she had to do. That night, she recorded a conversation with her father, secretly turning on her phone's voice recorder. Emily, softly, Dad, have you ever taken money for a verdict? Judge Carter, frustrated sigh. Yes, Emily. That's how the world works. Her heart shattered, but she didn't stop recording. The next morning, she sent the file to the biggest news station in the country. Within hours, headlines exploded across TV screens and social media. Shocking, top judge exposed in corruption scandal. Justice or betrayal? Judge Carter's own daughter turns him in. Bribery in the courtroom. How many innocents were jailed? Her father was arrested that evening. The man who once ruled over courtrooms now stood in one, as the accused. The trial was quick. The evidence was undeniable. Judge William Carter was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Emily sat in the back of the courtroom, the same courtroom where she had once admired her father. As he was escorted away, he turned to her one last time. "You ruined me, Emily." Tears stung her eyes, but she refused to look away. "No, Dad," she whispered. "You ruined yourself." 2 years later, Emily stood in a packed auditorium, addressing a class of future lawyers. "My father taught me the law. But he also taught me that justice can be broken. And if we don't fight for the truth, who will?" The room fell silent. She took a deep breath. Justice isn't about power. It's about doing what's right, no matter the cost. The audience erupted in applause. Emily had lost her father. But she had found her purpose. And she would never stop fighting for the truth.